Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you all doing? Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. And if not, I hope things get better for you. I'm still in my robe. Just got up, had some tea, let my dogs do their business, and I'm doggy sitting some friend's dog. And I decided she's in her room barking. She goes back there and stays there. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to make this video because I know there are a lot of people who suffer from chronic anxiety. And for those of you that don't know, Christmas night of 2022, I had a severe panic attack. I mean, truly severe panic attack. Luckily, my son Nathan was with me and helped me get through it till I actually passed out. I actually passed out in bed. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I didn't know what was happening to me, and any of you who have had a severe panic attack know how horrible it is. Well, that left me with chronic anxiety, so severe that I had to be medicated because I was like this. My entire body was like this all day long. I mean, literally shaking. But I finished that medication, which was Xanax. Xanax got me through. I finished it this past February 18th to be exact. I weaned myself off of it. I did not like how my body was needing more, and I didn't like how it made me feel kind of fuzzy-headed, and I thought, no, I don't want to be on this stuff anymore. Well, I've been off of it since February, and I still have anxiety, not to the degree I did, thankfully, but yeah, it affects your life daily. Those of you that have this, you understand. Last night my son's girlfriend was over hanging out with me, and we were talking about how anxiety affects our lives. And it affects your life in so many ways. At least for me, I'm going to talk about how this has affected me in my life. The slightest thing can set that anxiety off. Not always to the degree that I'm just shaking or anything like that, but I have noticed since that panic attack and since having that severe anxiety, just the smallest things I can feel it coming on. I can feel the anxiety come on, and sometimes I get just a little shaky, not where my body's shaking, but I can just feel, a little shakiness. And it can come out of nowhere. I can be feeling just fine, just normal, going about my day, maybe vacuuming, doing the dishes, whatever, the usual stuff you do in your house type of thing. And all of a sudden I feel it come on, and it starts with a tingling in my feet. Strangely enough, but that's normal. It starts kind of with a tingling in my feet. And I know, then it's like, oh great, okay, here comes that funny feeling. And I have to fight it psychologically, mentally. I have to fight it. I have to get busy doing something really fast or anything to just take my mind away from it. Sometimes I'll just run to the grocery store, to Target, because I live real close to to everything I need. I live very close to. And I'll just get up and go, just to get my mind out of the direction it's in. And that's not always easy. Even something as simple as just going somewhere, it's like, oh crap, I have that anxiety. But for me, going somewhere or busying myself very quickly helps a lot. But chronic anxiety makes life a little tougher. You can't handle stress things very well, or as well as you'd like, I should say. And that's very tough. Maybe a little family issue comes up, and what might be handled differently if I didn't have this anxiety, I could just be like, oh well, okay, this is not great, and get on with my day. But instead, because of the chronic anxiety, what I might have looked at as not such a big deal becomes a very big deal. because it's like, oh my God, the slightest bit of stress can get my whole body feeling very uncomfortable to where it's like, oh my gosh. So I have to work with that because it is a struggle to deal with any stress. It's just a struggle. I can't handle stress right now. I can't handle it well at all. So I have to try to mentally make, how can I put it? I'm trying to mentally make things be less or not as big a deal, shall we say, as my stress would or my anxiety would allow me to. And it's not easy, guys. It is tough. Any of you who are going through this, you know what I'm talking about. There are times, like I was telling my son's girlfriend, there are times when this anxiety makes me want to just hunker down in my house. Just be in my house, close the shades, light some candles, and just forget the world out there. Just forget. I don't even want to see people walking by, cars going by, nothing. I want to block the world out, which helps. It helps because I need that at that moment where it's like, world, stay away, go away. Like today, it's so cold, guys. It's in the 20s here in Albuquerque. That's why I'm still in my fuzzy warm robe. I don't even want to shower, guys, because you know how it is when you shower in the winter. It doesn't matter what your heater's on. You step out of that shower and it's like, ooh. But, so I thought, well, I'm going to make this video before I shower and get dressed for the day. But, yeah, it affects me to where there, and then what's funny is, my son's girlfriend was saying the same thing. I have days when I want to hunker down, just close the world off, and then there are days when I know that anxiety is there and I just need to run to the store. I have to get out. It's like I have to get out and go to the store to put my mind in a different place. It can be one or the other. It's really strange how that works. Those of you that experience anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. It can really affect everything. My son Elliot was talking about how they go to this cabin and how beautiful it is and on and on. I actually felt my anxiety rise. He's like, you have to go with us one of these times. I felt my anxiety rise immediately, like, oh no, I don't think so. You know, it's weird how this works, what it does, how it affects your thinking and your, it's almost like, how can I put it? It's almost like the flight or, what is it, what is it? I can't even think of it right now, but you know, flight or fight thing where there are some days where I just feel, I feel completely normal. I just feel like, oh, I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden things aren't normal. And the only thing is that with me is when it comes bedtime, that's when it all goes away. It's gone. I can lay down with my little doggies snuggled next to me, watching my Grace and Frankie every night, and it's just gone. It disappears. And I know that's because that day is over. I don't have to face anything anymore. I'm comfortable and snug under my blankets, just comfortable as can be. And I know it's because psychologically my brain is like, the day's over. You don't have to face anything. Just relax. So it's gotten to where my favorite time of the day is bedtime, guys. Yep, it's bedtime. Like now it's what, 9:40 in the morning here, and I know I've got a whole day ahead of me, and sometimes just that alone, I can wake up in the morning. Have any of you done this? I'm now getting some remedies from my homeopathic doctor to help with this. Because of a situation that came up within my family concerning one of my sons, I got so full of anxiety, I was waking up in the morning literally shaking like this. As soon as I would wake up, my body was kind of shaking, and I thought, okay, it's getting bad again, I need to do something about this. So that's when I called my homeopathic doctor, and she started me on some remedies. And I'm not waking up with that shaking feeling anymore. Just occasionally I'll feel a little kind of, oh, you know, when I wake up. But it was so strong that the minute I woke up, it was like I had 5-10 seconds of feeling completely normal. When you wake up, you know, you're just kind of, oh, and you're waking up, you know, and you're realizing it's morning. I'd have about 5-10 seconds of that, and then it would go straight into, oh my God, just literally shaking. And that's when I thought, no, I can't go through this again, and I certainly don't want it to turn into a panic attack. But that situation concerning one of my sons upset me deeply, and that's what the anxiety has done. I can't handle stress right now. I can't. That's why I at this point, I'm not even driving out like to my daughter's house or my son's houses. They live way out on the west side, far from me. And I can't because of the anxiety that I have. Not agoraphobia, just anxiety. And it affects everything. It affects your appetite. My appetite has gone down because when I get anxious or stressed, I lose my appetite. You know how some people, they get stressed or anxious and they want to just eat to comfort themselves? I'm the opposite. When I get stressed and anxious, my appetite is out the door. It is gone. So I have to be careful with that. So my son Elliot and his girlfriend brought me some stuff that's I don't even know what it's called, but it's got all these good ingredients in there to help with your digestion, your mental, your whatever you drink it, like an ounce or two a day. It's all natural stuff. So I started that. And I noticed yesterday that I just actually felt better after just one day of trying it. And it's not a placebo effect. I actually felt, my body felt a little different. So I'm going to continue that and see how that helps. Because it really, I actually felt better. It's this natural mix. Oh, it's in the refrigerator. I have to get up and disturb my doggy. But anyway. I'm trying that, and then I'm on the remedies that my doctor has me on. And I'm drinking green tea because I found out that through research that green tea helps the GABA receptors, that type of thing, that calm your body down. So they said even 1 cup can help you. So I'm going to be drinking 2 cups a day. I went and bought some decaffeinated green tea because I cannot handle caffeine at all. When you have chronic anxiety, the last thing you need is caffeine. Coffee, sodas. You even have to watch it with dark chocolate. I do. Dark chocolate, if it's really high percentage of cocoa, will actually get me shaking, get my heart going because of the high caffeine content. So yeah, I have to watch that. So it affects me, and it causes you to just, when you're in that state of anxiety, you're always worrying. You're just constantly worrying about one thing or another, which is the last thing you need, right? I mean, you're already anxious. You don't need to be worrying about anymore, but there I am. Like, oh my gosh, this, what if, you know, that what if thing, which is terrible. That can really mess up your day. It can mess up every day with that constant worry. But that's what chronic anxiety does. It leaves you in a state where you're not feeling totally comfortable with just everyday life. Little stressors can set you to where you feel that very uncomfortable feeling. Not necessarily just shaking, not necessarily that, but your whole mind and body senses and feels uncomfortable because of what the anxiety does. And that's hard to live with, guys. I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing to live with. And you have to constantly control. I have to bring myself down when I feel that. It's like, okay, here comes anxiety. And I either watch something on YouTube or I get busy to help bring it down, or I'll put music on. I'll tell Google to put some music on. because it can really affect your everyday life. And before I had that severe panic attack, this was non-existent. I don't know what happened. And the same thing happened with my son's girlfriend. She was completely normal and fine till she had that severe panic attack. And now she also is suffering with this chronic anxiety that, you know, comes and goes, and it's very disruptive to life, guys. Any of you experiencing this, you know what I'm talking about and how it can be disruptive to your life. Sometimes the only thing that will help me is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take a nice warm shower, and just feeling that warmth is wonderful. I wish I had a bathtub that would be a comfortable bath, but my bathtub is small and it's like this high, you know, it's like about a foot high. So not a real soaking tub, but sometimes just a nice warm shower and getting in nice fuzzy warm clothes just makes me feel better. So it's a constant thing of trying to find a way to fight that anxiety for me. And I will not go back to medication because I did not like what it did to me. Well, you know what? I'm lying. Let me rephrase that. When I first started the Xanax, it was heaven. It was heaven. I would take just a half of a milligram, and it would I would go lay down in bed. Oh, the world was beautiful and wonderful. I felt wonderful. I'd fall asleep for a couple of hours, and oh, it was just wonderful. And I'm not going to lie, man, I can see how it's easy to get addicted to that stuff. But in my case, as I continued to use it, I noticed my body needed more and more to get the same effect, and I was not going to do that. I never went above 1 milligram a day. Never. And that's when I realized I need to wean myself off of this and cope with this, because I'm not going to be medicated with stuff every day. And it's hard, because there are some days when I sit here and I think, you know what, I'm feeling really anxious this morning. I could go take a quarter of a Xanax, because that's all I need to make me go to sleep. That's how sensitive my body is. I could go take a quarter of a Xanax and just lay down and forget the world. But I'm like, nope, not going there. I don't want, I mean, next month is a year that I've been off of it, and I'm proud of myself because I weaned myself off of it, and that's not an easy thing to do. Took weeks and weeks to do it, but actually months to wean off of it, but I did. And so this chronic anxiety makes you fearful of things. It can make you like just a constant worry wart about things and fears of what's going to set off more anxiety. Or then you start thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to have another panic attack? So when that comes into my mind, I instantly remove that, because I don't want to go there. I don't want to ever have that panic attack again. That was horrific. So a lot of times what I do is when I get that feeling of, oh my God, here's the anxiety, I immediately do whatever I have to bring it down, because I don't want to go into that next stage of a panic attack, because that was horrible. I thought I was dying. I was yelling for my son to call an ambulance, and he knew it was a panic attack. So he was able to work with me and help me get through the worst part of it. But it affects my life in a lot of ways that I don't think a lot of people realize. I had made a previous video about, you know, a situation where if I have to go into a new area, I get really confused. I've been that way my whole life, so it's not like something all of a sudden came up. Well, so that comes up too. It's like the thought of having to drive a long distance is anxiety. It causes anxiety at this point. I'm hoping this will one day go away. But if I get that fear, because my car is a 2005 car. It's in great shape, still running great, but because of its age, I can only carry liability. So if I wreck that car, guys, I cannot afford to buy a new car. So there's that anxiety of driving too much, because the more you drive, the more chances you have of an accident. So luckily everything I need is fairly close to me, so that lowers that anxiety. But I have to restrict myself at this point because of that subconscious fear of, oh gosh, if I were to wreck my car, I'm carless. And that creates anxiety. So this chronic anxiety amplifies everything. That's the way I want to put it. It amplifies things in life to where what might be very minor, or you might think in terms of, well, I'll find a solution to that, no big deal. No, anxiety amplifies everything to where when you get into that state, you're so highly stressed over the most minor things. Like for instance, we've got an Arctic cold front moving in here, okay, here in Albuquerque. Well, I'm sure you all have heard about that Arctic cold front that's going to hit so much of the country. Well, when they first were talking about it and they were showing it was coming down into New Mexico as well, I thought, oh, that is really unusual for New Mexico. We don't have weather like that. Well, it started causing me anxiety, thinking, oh my God, what if the power goes out? We're not going to have a storm or anything. We're just going to have the Arctic temperatures here in New Mexico. But in my mind, immediately, what did my anxiety do? It made me think, okay, what if the power goes out? Oh my God, I would die. I would die in those kind of temperatures. And my daughter's like, Mom, calm down, calm down. It's just going to get cold. We're not going to have a big storm. We're going to be fine, you know. But in my mind, it went to, oh my gosh, if we lost power, I wouldn't be able to survive the cold. And that's what this anxiety does to you. And my son Josh, he said he has these little buddy heaters, they're called, or something, buddy heaters, where you can run them inside. And he said if that is coming, he would bring me one, which I'm very grateful for, because you can like heat up one room and stay in there in the event of something like that, where it's like, oh, it's freezing cold. Well, you can close up one room and run that little buddy heater and stay comfortable without electricity. So I have to tell myself, okay, if this happens, you know, whatever. That's what chronic anxiety does. It just pushes your mind into these paths that you wouldn't let get to you. And I even told myself, well, I have those emergency blankets. You know those, they look like foil? I have those in case that you cover yourself with, that keeps you warm. I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about, those emergency blankets. It's like for campers and stuff like, or people who camp and stuff. But I know I have that, and yet my mind goes to what if? And I hate that feeling, and that's what chronic anxiety does. Those of you that suffer from chronic anxiety, please put down in the comments what you experience, because believe it or not, you can truly help others not feel so alone in what they're going through. They don't feel like these weirdo freaks of, oh, well, it does this and it does that to me. If others can read what people are going through with their anxiety, it does help you psychologically. It's kind of a little bit of a comfort blanket, you know, like, geez, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. I'm not this. I'm not that. It's amazing what your comments can do to help others. You have no idea how much it can help others with what they're going through. That's why I truly value YouTube, because people can put their long comments, short or long comments, and that can be, your comment can be something to help one person say, oh my God, I'm not crazy. I experienced that too. Because I'm just touching on what's, you know, what I can think of at the moment of how it affects me. And it can also make you feel very like you don't want to do anything. You have days where it's like, I'm anxiety ridden, I don't want to do anything. It can do that too, where you just want to lay on the couch or the bed, and sometimes I just go with it. I just go with whatever my body is feeling at the moment, because I figure, you know what, I'm a little stressed, I feel a little anxious, I'm going to lay down on the couch because I can't lay in my bed during the day. Don't know why, guys, but it's impossible. I can't do it. So I lay on the couch, put something interesting on YouTube, and let my body come down from it, because it can become very powerful. Now, when this incident happened with one of my sons, I was in that mode of shaking severely. I mean, I was shaking severely. That's how bad my anxiety got. And it can do that. It can just come out of nowhere. And instead of looking at something like, okay, my son and I have had a little issue together, we'll get through this, I went into overdrive mode, and I have to be careful with that, because my doctor told me that can affect your heart. And I felt my heart just, you know, boom, 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 absolutely crazy the night that the issue came up with me and my son. My heart was just pitter-patter fast. So I have to be careful with that. I have to bring myself down, and it's not easy. And if you go through this and you've got people telling you, oh, you just got to get over it, you got to just bring yourself down, you know, just get over it. Don't let them upset you, because it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. It doesn't work to where you can just say, oh, I'm not going to let it bother me today. That's not how chronic anxiety works. It affects your entire body. You actually have a chemical change in your head and in your body that you can't just go, oh, I'm not going to let it bother me today. It does not work that way, unfortunately. That's why I needed the medication, because it was so severe. I couldn't function, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. It was horrific what that initial stage of the severe anxiety caused me. It was terrifying, guys. And those of you that have been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's an awful feeling to be in that state of mind, and you can't control it. You can't stop it. And luckily for me, the medication did help, and then once I got off, I didn't go through any major withdrawals or anything, because I did it so slowly. But the anxiety is still there. So guys, I just wanted to make this video because I know how many of you are suffering. I just got an email yesterday from someone, or not an email, a comment on a video from someone who was diagnosed with severe anxiety. I wish I'd have gotten her name, but I forgot. Anyway, you know who you are. But anyway, I wanted to make this to comfort those of you going through this. You're not alone. In this world of today, the way it is now, there's a lot to cause a lot of anxiety for a lot of reasons, for a lot of people. So don't feel bad and don't feel like you're some freak. You're not. Believe me. So anyway, guys, I got to end this because my camera only goes 30 minutes. Take care, and I will see you in my next video, and do whatever you can to bring yourself down. Find ways, especially looking up on YouTube. There are a lot of things you can do. Music, certain people talking. There's a lot of things. And I wish you luck in your journey through this anxiety that you're suffering with. So take care, guys. We will see you later. Say bye, Lily. Mwah. My little show dog. Okay, let me get up. Take care, guys.